In the endless expanses of the savanna of Karenga National Park, located in southern Tanzania, the morning silence was broken by a piercing roar. A small lion cub, not yet named, trembled as it clung to its mother's cold body. During the night, a pack of lions from a neighboring pride attacked her, and a fierce battle took her life. The cub, who had barely opened his eyes to the world, did not understand why his mother was no longer breathing. He whimpered pitifully, trying to snuggle up to her fur, but the coldness of her body frightened him even more. In the distance, vultures began to circle above the horizon, their shadows falling on the grass, intensifying the cub's fear. He clung to his mother, as if hoping she would wake up at any moment. The wind rustled in the tall grass, and the sun rose higher and higher. But the lion cub did not leave his mother, uttering weak, desperate cries. His tiny body trembled with hunger and fear, and tears glistened in his large, innocent eyes. That morning, a ranger named Akim Ndugu, a veteran of Karenga Park with 20 years of experience, was patrolling the area in his old Jeep. His ears caught a faint sound, like crying. Akim stopped the car, turned off the engine, and listened. The sound repeated itself, thin, heart-wrenching. He got out of the Jeep, adjusted his hat, and cautiously moved through the tall grass, keeping his hand on the radio. After walking a few meters, he noticed the motionless body of a lioness ahead. Next to her, huddled close, sat a small lion cub. Its weak, desperate roar made Akim's heart ache. The cub noticed the man and tried to growl, but he had almost no strength left. He only bared his teeth weakly, unable even to stand up. Akim knelt down, carefully examined the lioness's body, and noticed deep wounds on her neck, traces of a fierce fight within the pride. He looked at the lion cub, whose eyes were full of fear and pain. Akim couldn't leave him to his fate. He took a bottle of water out of his backpack, wet a handkerchief, and gently wiped the cub's face, trying to calm him down. After a moment's hesitation, he wrapped the cub in a light blanket that he always carried with him, and lifted it gently. The cub pressed itself against his chest, burying its nose in the ranger's neck. Akim placed the lion cub in the back seat of the Jeep, covered him with a blanket, and started the engine. On the way back to the station, he kept looking back to check on the cub. The lion cub curled up, and, as if completely exhausted, fell asleep, breathing evenly and quietly. Upon arriving at the Karenga rescue station, Akim immediately called his colleagues. Together, they carried the lion cub to the medical room. Akim mixed warm milk with vitamins and began feeding the baby through a pipette. The lion cub was weak but eagerly swallowed the milk, as if clinging to life. After feeding, he settled comfortably in a blanket, sniffed Akim's hand, and fell asleep, finding peace for the first time that day. Akim stayed nearby, watching the baby all night, taking notes in his worn notebook and checking his breathing. The next morning, Akim reported what had happened to his superiors and called an emergency meeting. 6 rangers and 2 veterinarians gathered in a small room. Everyone was silent as Akim recounted the discovery, the condition of the lion cub, and its chances of survival in the wild. One of the rangers, Musa, objected that keeping a lion at the station was too dangerous and expensive. The chief veterinarian, Dr. Layla, suggested sending the lion cub to a large rescue center in Dar es Salaam, where they had the necessary equipment and specialists. But Akim, looking thoughtfully at the floor, suddenly offered an unexpected solution. "We have Marussia," he said, and the room fell silent. Marussia was an orangutan who had been living at the center for several years. A year ago, she lost her baby due to illness and since then often sat alone, clutching an old rag as if it were her baby. Akim suggested that Marussia's maternal instinct could help save the lion cub. Some of his colleagues laughed, calling the idea crazy, but Akim's eyes burned with confidence. After lengthy discussions, the station manager, Mr. Kurves, agreed to the experiment, but on condition that it be closely monitored. With his heart pounding, Akim carried the lion cub to Marussia's enclosure. The orangutan sat in the corner, her gaze empty, clutching her rag in her hand. Akim carefully placed the lion cub at the entrance to the enclosure. The cub whimpered softly, crawled closer to Marussia, and froze, looking at her with big eyes full of hope. Marussia slowly approached, bent down, and touched the lion cub's back with her large, soft paw. All the station employees watching through the cameras held their breath. On the first day, Marussia did not leave the lion cub's side. She sat next to him, watching him closely, and by evening she allowed the baby to fall asleep in her arms. For the first time since losing his mother, the lion cub slept peacefully, nestled in the warm fur of the orangutan. The next morning, Marussia took the bottle of milk that Akim had left, and awkwardly but carefully, began to feed the baby. After a few days, she got the hang of it, holding the bottle confidently, like a real mother. The lion cub, whom the staff named Lavushka, began to gain strength. He ran after Marussia, climbed on her back, and even tried to play, nibbling at her paws. Marussia patiently taught him. She showed him how to sit on her lap and shielded him from the sun with her broad palm when they went out into the yard. Akim came every day, bringing milk and toys and cleaning the enclosure. Once, Marussia carried Lavushka to a low tree, rocking him in her arms as if lulling him to sleep. The lion cub made happy sounds, and when Marussia approached, he pressed himself against her chest and wagged his tail like a little puppy. Once, Lavushka stumbled and fell, scratching his paw. Marussia immediately ran up, examined him, took a clean cloth, and carefully wiped off the dirt. This moment was accidentally captured on camera, and Akim uploaded the video to the reserve's page. The video went viral. Thousands of people around the world were touched by this unusual friendship. Lavushka and Marussia began to be called the Miracle of Karangi, and the name Lavushka, meaning little lion, became official. It was written on a sign on the enclosure. Lavushka grew quickly. His golden fur shone, and his body became stronger and stronger. He was already bigger than Marussia, but still fell asleep with his head buried in her belly. Marussia could no longer carry him in her arms, but every morning she stroked his head, and Lavushka obediently sat next to her. Akim began to accustom him to meat, and Marussia, to everyone's surprise, did not react to the smell of blood, sitting calmly nearby while Lavushka tried his first portion. The reserve set up a live stream so that people from all over the world could watch this amazing couple. Tourists flocked to Karinga to see Lavushka and Marussia. They sat under a tree. Lavushka rested his head on Marussia's lap, and cameras clicked away around them. Akim and his team gave lectures on interspecies friendship, and soon a photo album entitled Love Without Borders, Lavushka and Marussia was published. Even when Lavushka became an adult lion with powerful paws and a thick mane, he remained affectionate with Marussia. He never growled at her, and if he started running too fast, Marussia would clap her hands on the ground, and Lavushka would obediently stop. They ate together, slept together, and played with rubber balls that Akim brought for them. Tourists came not only for the lions or orangutans, they wanted to see the miracle created by love. Every day, hundreds of visitors gathered at the enclosure to take pictures of Lavushka lying on Marussia's lap, or Marussia hugging her son. Their story inspired schools, scientists, and even filmmakers. Akim became the hero of many interviews, but he always said that the real heroes were Lavushka and Marussia, who proved that love is stronger than instinct. In the savannah of Karinga, amid the harsh nature, a story blossomed that reminded people that a mother's love knows no bounds. Lavushka and Marussia became a symbol of hope, showing that even in a world full of struggle, there is room for warmth and care. Thank you for reading this story. If it touched your heart, don't forget to like it and subscribe to the channel to learn more about the wonders of wildlife.